All right, so we've got a red marker and a red colored pencil. We've got our underlay taped down. We're about to build up our first overlay. We've got some information kind of already built in for some suggestions. But the first thing I want to do is identify where the horizon line is. And I do that basically twofold. I identify the vanishing point of the horizon line by looking for a vanishing edge like this side of the building here, and a vanishing edge for this side of the building here, and maybe a second or third, however many it takes. But chances are, you're going to find your vanishing point right there at the intersection of where these vanishing edges occur. If indeed this is a person shot photo in the field with a camera phone or camera otherwise, that horizon line will be at the eye level of your viewer. So that then becomes a reference line, a horizon line, for which we will build up all subsequent levels of information. That is not true if you are using a Google Street View, is it? Why? Why is that not true if you're using Google Street View? Anyone?
Google has the camera on top of the car.
It's mounted on top of the car, so it's about 7 feet as opposed to about 5 feet. So consequently, your perspectives will be slightly different if you are using a Google Street View as a reference image. What's great about Google Street View is that it is taller than a car, therefore it shoots over the parked cars, which is nice, right? But consequently, perspective drawings will be a little bit different as a result. I'll go ahead and identify a person by blocking them in, starting with the head. And our scale figures that we learned from previous entities or previous exercises, just go ahead and get someone in there right away, because anything we do now in this alley should be referenced to a person's scale or a person's position in that environment. What are some, okay, so other than getting rid of the porta potty and things like that, do we want to build maybe a screen for some of these utilities? Is that something? Maybe a wall? There's that grade change there. This is level, so that's going to the vanishing point. Maybe we build some sort of additional wall that goes all the way back to the property. This could be an add-on, or there could be even an outdoor patio or seating. Notice I want to make it taller than the person so that they don't hit their head on it. And maybe we can make an awning or some outdoor restaurant kind of seating, start to show this as a habitable space. This is just the beginning of maybe some outdoor seating for this establishment, replacing that lovely portable restroom. We've got a couple of steps here on the right, just so that's just the reality of the site, is that there is a bit of a grade change in that town of Lowell. So all folks will be going up 2 steps to get into this. Carry that all the way back to the brick, and then we'll do the underbelly of the top plane of our outdoor seating area. And I will shade that in for reference. All right, so this is a new horizontal plane in space. It is above our head. Notice where the lines are vanishing to. Vanishing to the vanishing point. This is a new floating horizontal plane. It is above our head. Notice its partner, that concrete slab, is a horizontal plane that is below our eye level. It is vanishing to the vanishing point as thus. An overhead plane and a lower plane. So understanding that relationship to the horizon line and the vanishing point helps new stuff in one-point perspective appear real. This might have an edge, it might be an awning, or it might be a structure. or a new roof. Don't know. Probably wants to shed water, I'm guessing. And so it maybe looks something like that. Maybe these will become decorative columns, like a nice Italian restaurant. Give a little bit of taper there. Our friend here is at about 5 feet. So if there is a railing to keep the toddlers from falling off, it would be less than 5 feet. So we can just take our rolling ruler and look at this angle here. You can even, if you want, the advantage of the rolling ruler is that you can take a sharp pencil or pen and you can put it through one of the holes at your vanishing point, and you can then pivot around it like so. So let's say I want to make a railing. I will not make it 5 feet tall from there. I will make it below, and then I can start to maybe that's going to be a railing now, so that Junior doesn't fall into the alley. This is just red colored pencil directly onto our overlay there. Boy, I'm glad I figured out this camera. So by the way, this is the button I should have figured out 5 weeks ago. Overexposed. Lower exposure. There we go. That's better. Yeah. Live and learn. Yeah. Oh. So, other than maybe some lighting on this side, anything we'd like to do with the building over here? Anything at all? Yep. This is a taper, so yep. Sure. Yep. Any kind of column will work. I mean, do your own. Yeah, do your own.
A fast food restaurant blended into the story.
Okay. All right. So you can see our friend has recommended that we level the sidewalk. The reason being is that the level of the alley is lower, and so they too would have maybe a deck or a new slab extending from this business here. You then make a determination of how far you want this, maybe their outdoor seating, to be, and then just pivot it like we did before. Take your rolling ruler, pivot it on the vanishing line, on the vanishing point, just go whoop, right, maybe about right there. Maybe we do a little bit of masonry work and we bust in one of them fancy opening doors in there, like they have in Philadelphia and Boston now. Just put a big hole into the facade, put in a new header, and then have a retractable garage style door window. Okay, so if you've been in Brothers in the Village, as many of you have, yes, you've been there, just admit it. That the garage doors basically open up the entire interior to the exterior. This railing is a nice reference, perhaps. Maybe we can take that railing and continue it down and make a railing to contain that outside sitting area. Maybe we can carry over that railing to the other side of that opening. Over here. This is 1-point perspective, so everything parallel to the horizon line remains parallel. It's not 2-point, so we don't have to worry about that extra vanishing point. I'm extending out now. this essentially this box frame, which is where the new railing will occur. Why is the railing there? So people just don't casually wander into the restaurant seating, number one. Number two, so that kids don't dart into the street. You don't want a 5-year-old darting out into Main Street traffic while they're sitting down eating. 3, you want to serve alcohol in Indiana in outdoor seatings, it has to be defined. There is a minimum definition of outdoor sittable consumption area based on Indiana excise law. So Kentucky does not have that same statute. So if I wanted to serve alcohol out here, this would have to be a contained area. So that is based on Indiana law. Kentucky, not the case at all. I don't know what they do in Kentucky differently, but outdoor consumption is not a problem in Kentucky, apparently. You see that if you're from Cincinnati or know Cincinnati, you know the differences between one side of the river and the other are quite different when it comes to restaurant culture. So. Okay. So we've got 2 now new outdoor seating areas. How about some lighting? You can see the reference image on the left there. It's got a bunch of new stuff in there. So it's got new lighting. So let's just help define the right side of the image by adding a new lamp. And that might have banners on it, something like that. Okay. Maybe this restaurant has some signage, some fun signage. Maybe it's going to be lit up. So any shape you want. Could be square, could be that. Just keep in mind it has to vanish to the vanishing point. Notice we want that to vanish to the vanishing point. Our new restaurant needs a name. What do we have for a name? New restaurant needs a name.
O'Doul's.
Say again?
O'Doul's Irish pub.
O'Doul's non-alcoholic Irish pub. Fantastic. Yeah, okay. Great idea. That's good. Okay. So O D. Good. Maybe it's a dry county in Tennessee. Slight problem. What's the problem here? Height. Yeah, the height is wrong. So we're now hitting our head on the sign. So we have to adjust. We have to make an adjustment there. And here I'm performing surgery now. Remove the offending sign plate. Apply the skin graft. Boy, we're going to love this on the video, aren't we? Like, what was he talking about? I'm still overjoyed the camera's working better. That's just I'm just riding on that adrenaline right now. Okay, let's try that again. So, human reference, here. Vanishing point, clear head height, take it above. I'm okay with extending beyond the building there. Parallel to the edge, the corner of the building. Space it out, ODOULS. Fill it in with some markers so I can do a double line version of the letters. Apostrophe, apostrophe. Give the sign some depth, thickness. Bottom is vanishing now to the vanishing point. There we go. That's better. All right. Now let's keep working. So we've got suggestion for some lighting for that space. Light will be coming out of that. Open door. What else? Let's think about foreground. We've got a note here that says maybe there's some new paving patterns emanating from this space. So that's just a matter now of just extending out some lines from that. The stairs over here on the right also help assist us with the location of these diagonals. So I'm just radiating those out. Maybe that's where our brick pavers kind of lie in a brick paved street condition, past our little staircases and things like that. So we're now extending. What's beautiful about this is that we can now extend the drawing forward into the foreground. We can start adding more people to that foreground. Their heads will be on the horizon line, like so. So we've got a railing. Maybe there's some planters. Maybe we're vacating the alley, and it becomes necessary to install planters in front of it to keep a car from driving through it. It's certainly possible that we might not want a car to drive through this anymore. And if it's too much going on, then switch colors. If you have too much rig going on, then just switch colors, and you can continue sketching up, adding things to this. So this becomes a decorative planter with maybe one or two different species in it. One year we put a band shell in the back. That was kind of fun. That sound interesting? Maybe. Want to add a band shell to the back?
Yeah.
Feeling adventurous tonight? What? Okay. All right. Let's do a band shell. So we're maybe past the property a little bit. We'll just kind of block in a plane, back plane. We want it taller than us, obviously. Take it up. Maybe it's we've got a reference here in this diagonal coming off of our brick building on the left. That's a height reference. Well, that's kind of nice. So maybe we can match the height of the brick building there and just create like a big television screen. The equivalent of a big television screen back there. Okay. And I'll shade that in for reference. Still have our friend standing here. Well, we won't forget him or her. Kind of defining the entrance into our little pocket park. But now you've got a big television screen back there. That needs some depth now too, doesn't it? So, following that diagonal, I'm just going to go back a little bit and create a sidewall. Boom. Following that vanishing point, I'll look at that top line. I'll go back a little bit and connect the back wall of the band shell there. Okay? And then where those two lines meet, that's now the other side wall of the band shell. See how that was a screen and now we punched back and added some depth to it? We started by building the band shell just by referencing the height of the brick building on the left. We took it all the way back to the vanishing point. We essentially extended. We created just a box frame, and now we're punching it back towards the vanishing point. Here's the side wall. Here's the other side wall of the new band shell. Okay. Questions so far? Seated people. Are they the same height as standing people? So I put their heads lower than the horizon line. Their heads are below the horizon line. There's two people having a drink right there. Okay? Or having a meal. Seated people over here, however, where are they? What's different over here? Yeah, they're up on that slab. They're higher than they are over here. So chances are, if they are in a seated position, they might actually be closer to the horizon line. Seated person, seated person. Enough people or more people? What do you think? Okay. All right. I'll stop there. So we can measure this and find the midpoint, or we can divide it. Any surface in a one-point perspective that's vanishing, you can divide it up using an X. I've now taken the roof of our band shell, divided it with an X. That gives me the midpoint. So I take the vanishing point, there's the midpoint. Then I go up a little bit, and then I can make a sloped roof like that. Any surface that is vanishing to the vanishing point can be divided with an X. Okay? Any surface. There's a roof. And then take that roof back to the vanishing point. All right. Not award-winning architecture, but it is a bad shell with a roof now. Okay. How many of you did Travis's Saturday workshop in LA? A couple of you, yeah. So this was a very similar exercise, I think. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Anything else we want to do the band shell? Anything? Okay. All right. ODOU. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Anybody been to the Rathskeller in Indy? The band shell and the beer garden? Okay. Go see a band called Polka Boy. It's polka, rock, and ska fusion. It'll blow your mind. Anyway. You're like, what? Polka, rock, and ska fusion. So. Okay. Anything else we want to add to our pocket park? Anything else? No more? Say again? Maybe. That's a good idea. Yeah, urban nightlife usually needs trash cans. Otherwise, they get pretty gnarly. Okay, so let's see. Maybe in this space just in front of the railing here, we're going to make a little box for our trash can to exist in. Vanish one side to the vanishing point. Vanish the other side to the vanishing point. Carry the vertical legs higher. And then with my pencil at the vanishing point, I'm just going to complete the box. So that's a square box. Trash cans come in all shapes and sizes, of course. So, okay. Maybe it's one of those. Maybe it's one of those black metal trash cans, something like that. And we come down the stairs, make the turn, and off we go. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Anything else? String of lights. Thank you. Oh, thank you. All right. So. Okay. Take a look at my photos from Dublin, Ireland. So make little circles that are references for each of the bulbs. Remember, these are areas that we need to leave white. Okay. Just give yourself a little bit of a reference as to where the light will come from along these strings, because we will not want to render color all the way to them, right? Hello, Internet. All right. So, there's an example there in Dublin. So, nightlife in Dublin there. So, look at the effect of the light. Look at it shining on the pavement. Look at the lights above. So really great. I took some amazing night shots in Dublin. So, very fortunate to have been there. And pretty active. Not bad for a Tuesday night. Here's a great, this is an alley in Dublin with the lights overhead. So really get that sense of vanishing there. So those are some of the effects and urban amenities that we're adding into the context of this drawing. So here's that same alley in the daytime. So Dublin's an incredibly busy environment. So but it's interesting to contrast the day and the night views. So, sort of the effect of light there on this street. Very warm light. Okay. Our sort of post St. Patrick's Day celebration of Dublin. Okay. All right. Anything else we're adding to this drawing? Anything at all?
What we had was less correct than what's going on. I'm just thinking if we can have one right here.
Good idea. A rack where? Over here? Or what if we did the Toronto ring? Are you familiar with the Toronto ring? What is the Toronto ring, folks?
The Toronto ring, is it what you're drawing?
The Toronto ring is a combination bicycle rack and bollard that was instituted by the city of Toronto in the 1990s. It meant,
That they don't know.
okay, well, now you do. So that's called a Toronto ring. And they can mount that forged ring to almost any post and turn any post of any kind into a bike rack. So that was a piece of innovation from the 90s that Toronto was very successful with. So we can basically protect our pedestrians and provide bike parking at the same time. So that's the Toronto ring. So that can be kind of layered in as well. Just for a nos. We will add a bike to that. Oh,
I need the space to park my bike.
that's right. A nos needs a parking space. So we start with the rhombus. We start with the basic geometry of the bike. Okay. This becomes the seat tube. That becomes the hub, rear wheel, neck, fork, front wheel. Seat. Handlebar. Back wheel. Front wheel. That's it. It starts with a rhombus. A simple rhombus. Do it again?
Please.
Okay. Simple rhombus or parallelogram, as we learned in geometry class. Cog, hub, seat post, seat, neck, handlebar, front fork, front hub, followed by front wheel, back wheel. Simple binary. Okay. Okay. All right. It is 10 to 8, so take your break. Just stop there.
lost your trust, you never shared love, you never shared love. But don't break your mind if you ever see this, but don't look so loud. goblins and when only one's friends. I'll see you soon. So they can't feel you. They can't stop it that you're here. They can't stop it that you're here. But don't break your back if you ever say it. But don't answer that. In a bullet can move fast. The windows all closed. I'll be doing my best. I'll see you soon. In a telescope lens when all you want's found. I'll see you soon. I'll see you soon. You're lost to try. You're lost to try. Don't ready to try. You're lost to try.
I just wanna be okay, be okay, be okay. I just wanna be okay. I just wanna be okay, be okay, be okay. I just wanna be okay today. I just wanna feel the day, feel the day, feel the day. I just wanna feel something today. I just wanna feel the day, feel the day, feel the day. I just wanna feel something today. Open me up and you will see. I'm a family of broken hearts. I'll be on the melody and give me back my broken hearts. I just want another day, another day, another day. I just want something today. I just want another day, another day, another day. Know that maybe I will be okay. Open me up and you will see. I'm a gallery of broken hearts. I'll be on the melody, and give me back my broken hearts. Just give me what he says. Just give them right to me, please. Just give me what he says. And let me hold on broken hearts. I just wanna be okay, be okay, be okay. I just wanna be okay today. I just wanna be okay, be okay, be okay. I just